Persona 5 Royal gets ready to show off its first live stream. We've got a ton of other great news to talk about as well on this episode of the Jrpg Report. Welcome back, friends. It's time for another episode of the Jrpg Report. This is episode 71. My name is James Fisher. Thank you so much for tuning in yet again for another week of fun news stories and happenings all around the Jrpg world. We've got a bunch of stories to talk about. Nothing too major, but certainly some things we want to chat about. I want to give a brief update as if you've been tuning into the YouTube channel for any streams, we've been done with that for a few days as I wrapped up Cold Steel 2 and haven't really decided what to play next. I'm actually thinking I might take a JRPG short break and play through Spider-Man right fast. It's been sitting on my shelf staring at me for a while, so I might try that. But we are still putting out this podcast as a YouTube video each week with all the trailers that we talk about in the show. Of course, you can find those on our Facebook page as well. But if you just want to listen to the podcast and see all the videos and images that we're all in one place, head on over to our YouTube channel, Jrpg Report. I do thank all you guys for subbing over there and liking, as well as on the Facebook. And don't forget, if you enjoy what you are hearing here, head over to wherever you listen to this podcast and leave us a review. I'd really appreciate that. That helps spread the word. But without further ado, let's get into some of the news. As of this recording, it is August 1st. So tomorrow, on August 2nd, we will get the first official live stream for Persona 5 Royal. You can catch it on YouTube as well. This will be at 2100 Japan Central Time. This will be, they'll have some new information and live gameplay as well. They say presenters will include a MC, freelance writer, and producer, Wada, for this live stream. So hopefully we will gain some new information about this title, as we're eagerly looking forward to it, and I will share next week about what we do find out about that. In the meantime, we did get a couple new trailers in the past week. We got the new trailer for Haru, and I've got go ahead and I'll make a blanket statement. If I talk about a trailer, it's on the Facebook page and it's on the YouTube, so check them out. And we even got a new trailer for Morgana, or I guess Mona as they call him in Japan. Cute little kitty. You can check that out. But they also released a batch of about 50 new images. This featured not only the protagonist, but Riju, Sakamoto, An, Yasuki, and their personas, the third school semester battles, and the new location of Kinchikuji. I've got the trailer, or not the trailer, but I've got this story linked on the Facebook page. So if you want to direct link to it and all those images, you can check it out. I'm guessing this is going to be some of the things that they preview during this live stream. I guess it'd be a bit too much to hope for a Western release date during this. As we get closer and closer to the Halloween Japan launch, I'm kind of guessing when that finally happens, that's when we may finally get that revealed. If it doesn't come out at Tokyo Game Show, and then or Gamescom, then it'll probably be once that actually happens. So looking forward to getting some new information about Persona 5 Royal. Eagerly anticipating that came out. So we got some other quick stories to talk about. There were some new screenshots. Marvelous released some new screenshots for Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. that included the Bachelorettes Mary and Ellie, Bachelors Gray and Doctor, farming, animal raising, town shops, and seasonal events. Story of Season Friends of Maryltown is due out on the Switch in Japan on October 17th, in North America and Europe at a later date. If you guys are interested, you can check that out. I'll be sure and link it on the Facebook page as well. One other not Persona 5, but we did have some Dragon Quest news in the form of... This is the only time you'll catch me talking about Super Smash Brothers, by the way. But the Dragon Quest XI hero is now available as a playable character on Super Smash Brothers. So if you are a fan of both of those, you can now play with your hero. Very cool stuff. I believe that was the only Dragon Quest news we had for the week. We got another image from Final Fantasy VII Remake, this time showing off the Shinra building, like they did last time with the subway image. This has both the concept art and then what actually it looks like. They say in Final Fantasy VII Remake, Shinra Power Company has taken a hold of the world after seeing rapid growth due to Mako energy being harvested. So this is the Section 1 station, and it is impressive. I've got both those images linked for you. I love seeing the concept art for these things, and then they really nailed the end game on this one. So some more teaser stuff to hold you over until this one finally comes out. There is a new, this is for the Japanese version of Yokai Watch 4. There's a version 1.3 update. This is due out in early August. It adds a sumo wrestler to it. The game, of course, is available in Japan. A Western release is planned, but no date has yet been announced. There's a new trailer for that if you want to check that out. Just had this story pop up today. Genshin Impact, a June-announced open-world RPG from Honkai Impact third developer MiHoYo, will be released for PS4 in addition to its previously announced PC, iOS, and Android platforms worldwide in 2020. This was announced at the PlayStation China Joy 2019 press conference. China Joy is going on as we speak. There's actually a press conference as well today, later on in the afternoon. So I'm imagining some news may trickle out of this event. I was unaware of China Joy before reading this. Perhaps it's a kind of new thing. They're saying that this one will be playable at that festival, which runs from the August 2nd to the 5th. They say this is a open world action game set in a fantasy world, offering players a freely explorable world, multiple playable characters, an in-depth element of combo-based combat system, and an engaging story. So we got a little bit longer to wait on that one. There was a closed beta test held in June for the PC and smartphone versions of that, but it looks like a really sharp-looking game. I'm unsure when it's going to come out, other than just in 2020, and if this is a free-to-play one or not, I'm not exactly sure, but it looks promising, and we'll keep an eye on that as we learn a little bit more about it. But I've got the launch trailer for that one as well if you want to check it out. Monster Hunter World Iceborne expansion has been announced for PC, and finally know that it will come out in Japan 2020. That's about 4 months after its release on PS4 and Xbox One, which will come out on September the 6th. Not a firm date on it other than just January 2020. So if you're looking forward to Monster Hunter World Iceborne on your PC, you now at least have a release date for it. Several outlets had some gameplay on this, including Eurogamer, Famitsu, Game Informer, Gamers Ride, and IGN, to name a few, VJump as well. So if you want to check that out, there is plenty of places you can see it. Just type in the old YouTube and that'll take you to where you want to go. We had some Disgaea news pop up. There is a new trailer for Disgaea 4 Complete Plus, and I believe it is called the Valvatorez for Overlord trailer. He says the former tyrant has been reformed for the better as a new Prinny instructor. So I've got that trailer linked for you guys as well. The trailer is said to introduce the basics of netherworld politics and the man who plans to change it all, Valvatorez. Here's a brief description of his character. He says he's a former tyrant reformed for the better. Now he has eyes on a greater calling to weed out injustice and overthrow the corruptment. His methods may not be the cleanest, but dirtying one's hands to ensure promises are kept serves a noble purpose, don't you think? Disgaea 4 is due out for PS4 on October 29th in North America and Europe, 2 days later on Halloween in Japan. Probably not the best day to launch this one in Japan against Persona 5 Royal. Maybe that gets changed. I would just put it this way, I would not have made that decision. But there you go. We talked a few months ago when we were talking about Nippon Ichi's financial troubles, but they had two announcements as far as that goes, and that is that they did finally launch their Game Variety brand for smartphone games in Japan as a part of trying to recoup some lost assets on the game we had talked about a little bit, and that was this Jrpg service, and that is going to actually relaunch in November. They had a lot of money sunk into this one, end up causing them some issues, but it looks like everything has been finally worked out, and it'll relaunch in November. They say the game, which was suspended since its March release, has strengthened its framework and added new development partners as of June to work and repair and relaunch the service is fully underway. So it looks like they're going to try to redo this one, and hopefully, for the sake of the company, it'll work out better than the last time. Another story we teased in a previous episode that may be coming, and that is Yokai Watch 1. It was formally announced for the Nintendo Switch, and it'll be due out October 10th in Japan. No word yet on a Western release. This is the Switch version of the 2013 release Yokai Watch, featuring high-definition graphics and compatibility with Yokai Art and the DX Yosinken toys. It's going to be coming out both physically and digitally, and we'll keep you posted as we hear any word on this one coming west. There was some footage released from the closed alpha gameplay of Blue Protocol. This was the first look at Bandai Namco's action RPG. The alpha ran from July 26th through the 28th, and now several sources have released some gameplay. It's a lot more, I guess, action than I thought it was going to be, and it certainly looks more like to me to be an action game with RPG elements rather than an action RPG, if you kind of understand what I'm saying. At least that's the way I've always looked at games. So definitely interesting, and it looks like the alpha went pretty well. And we'll see how that gets going as we get closer to beta and then a release later on. There was a new trailer for the Arc of Alchemist for the Switch. This version of it will be due out October the 10th in Japan. As previously announced, the Switch version will include the following new features. You control all party members, not just Quinn. Freely form your party, enjoy battle and field traversal while operating your favorite character. Whether it is Sharon, who can attack a group of enemies in one swoop from a distance, or Sandra, who specializes in defense. Each character has its own unexpected quirks. They say this version is easier to play by adding high-value items that can be converted into money. It is now easier to fully realize your base, making character development easier as well. Some user interface elements have also been adjusted. So it looks like that one's coming out on October 10th in Japan. Again, I'll keep you posted on a Western release one if it does happen. May not happen for this one, but we will wait and see. But I've also got that trailer linked for you guys. Rune Factory 5 released a teaser trailer linked on Facebook for you guys as well. Omega Labyrinth Life and Labyrinth Life will be coming west on August the 1st. D3 publisher will release the Matrix software developed dungeon RPG Omega Labyrinth Life for Switch via the Nintendo eShop, and Labyrinth Life for PS4 via the PlayStation Store in the West day and date, with its Japanese release on October 1st, the publisher announced. For those who prefer the physical edition, H2 Interactive will release the game in Southwest Asia with English support for both the standard PS4 and Switch and limited PS4 and Switch editions on the same day. About the game, D3 publisher aims to deliver a lewd, busty, and hardcore roguelike experience utilizing turn-based tactics and growing powers that are bestowed within each maiden. This is a mature game. There's some very interesting gameplay elements. At its heart, it's a JRPG. It is a little twisted, to say the least, but always glad to see these games make it west so that we can enjoy them should we want to. But yeah, let me come out the same day digitally on August the 1st. That would be today. So if you're interested in it, go to your eShop or the PlayStation Store and you can download away. We got some news from the live stream that happened last week about Project Sakura Wars. And let me scroll to the top here. It will launch for PlayStation 4 on December 12th in Japan for 8,800 yen. Sega announced. I'm going to do some quick conversion. You can see what that would be. A spring 2020 release has been previously announced for the game in PS4 and Europe. First print copies of Project Sakura Wars in Japan will include a PS4 theme featuring the game's main visual and theme song. There's also a limited edition for about 5,000 yen more, and a deluxe digital edition will also be available. The limited edition includes a Sakura Wars series song and art collection, which consists of the soundtrack CD featuring over 60 songs from the series' 6 titles, and an A4 size 72-page art book featuring illustrations from the series. A digital deluxe version will include the same content in data form. So there's a ton of information out there for you guys if you want to check that out, including images galore. They've been showing off a lot of this game here lately. It looks like they are ready to go here in just a few more months in Japan and sometime in 2020 in the Americas. Let's take just a quick break and have a word from our sponsor, Anchor. We'll be right back and finish out this episode of the JRPG Report. And before we finish up the show, let's quickly check into the Facebook or online world. We did have a new subscription to the YouTube channel. I want to thank Dirk for doing that. And we had a new like on the Facebook page. Thank you, Brian, for that. Did have a comment on the Facebook page. I want to quickly ask you guys, or just to ask form a little bit. Reader asked about Town, the Nintendo Switch game, if I'd heard anything about it, and we did talk about this a couple episodes ago when it was absent from E3. They did release a single image about the game, but other than that, it's been really dark on it. So I'm kind of hoping Tokyo Game Show may reveal a little bit more about this title. But I really think that it's going to not be until after Pokemon Sword and Shield comes out that we will learn a little bit more about this title. And I kind of feel like it's going to get a proper name. I think Town was more of just a code name. I may be wrong. They may decide to go with that, but maybe they're kind of trying to rebrand this thing and make it into something more of a fleshed out experience. But rest assured, I'm interested in this one too. So as soon as I hear anything about it, I'll be sure to pass it along to you guys. Code Vein got another new trailer this past year, but I've got that listed or linked for you guys on the Facebook page. Code Vein is due out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC on September the 27th. I linked this one on Facebook as well for Astral Chain. They got a general overview trailer, and I kind of said it's a Japan game. It has RPG elements. Does that make it a JRPG? Definitely not. But it's a game that I'm certainly interested in and has some pretty cool aesthetics. It's not a typical JRPG as I define it, but is a game that looks really awesome. And there's 8 minutes of footage in the trailer, and it's looking sharp, to say the least. We'll not have to wait too much longer, just about a month until that one comes out. We got some information about Dragon Quest Walk, and we'll make this and one other story our mobile. We meant to call this a mobile 2 or 3 minute. So Square Enix had some screenshots and information about Dragon Quest Walk. The game is headed to iOS and Android devices in Japan in 2019. Still no news on a Western release. And they say a mysterious voice guides the protagonist through a world that fuses the game's reality with the real world. Maps are colorful renditions of the player's current location, with creatures and lore that stem from the Dragon Quest franchise. Players can mark and place a home hub anywhere on the map. They will be able to team up with others playing the game to take on dungeons and event monsters. There will be objectives scattered across the map that progress Dragon Quest Walk's main story. To activate these quests, players will have to walk to the designated locations. Monsters will be visible on the map, and players can opt to battle them for experience. New monsters the players encounter get added to the game's bestiary. Recovery spots resembling shining pots will also pop up on the map, so players can replenish their HP and MP pools. Very promising looking game. I really hope this one comes to the West. I don't have a lot of faith that it will, but should it come, I will be one of the first ones to download it. We talked a little bit about Christ Tales back at E3 and how promising this game looked. Well, publisher Modius Games and developers Dreams Uncoordinated and Sick have announced new developer diary for the game, responding to consumer feedback for the PC demo released alongside the game's announcement at E3. The developer diary includes exclusive new gameplay information and addresses various players' feedback to the demo, the availability of which has been extended indefinitely due to the overwhelmingly positive reception from fans. Additionally, I was going to say this: the developers will host a 1-hour Reddit, but this was in the past. This happened on July 30th, so that has already come and gone. So I've got the link to that on the Facebook page. I'll check that out myself, as it's about 8 minutes long, so I want to give myself plenty of time to actually check that out. But it's good to know that they're listening and really wanting to make this game incredible. And it looks awesome. I cannot wait to check this one out when it finally does come out. Our weekly Atelier Raza update will round out our stories for this week. We talked briefly last week about the character Lala, and we've got some more information about her and some others as well as screenshots to go along with them this time. Lala is the female warrior shrouded in mystery who accompanies Impel. Together with Impel, Lala is a roaming female warrior who finds her way to Rasputin village. Though she has a mysterious appearance, she is highly skilled in combat and agrees to teach Raza and her friends how to fight in real battles. She has a cool and composed demeanor. She uses words sparingly and keeps to the point. She seems to be surveying the ruins on Kirkin Island. We have a new character called Kylo Shinas. She's a strong-willed spirit user. A woman referred to as a spirit user is somewhat frail-looking. In order to protect something important, she continues to fight on her own. Raza and company will run into Kylo in unexpected places. We got an image and a description for Agatha Harmon. She is the top swordsman protecting the village, the leader of the Guardians that protect Rasputin village. Among the Guardians, no one can match her skill with a sword. She is fair and just. While she respects public order, she is not cold-hearted and is quite popular among the villagers. She reliably watches over the considerable growth of the little brats that were once a handful. They've got some information about the linkage synthesis. They say in Atelier Raza, Everdarkness and the Secret Hideout features a completely revamped system interface, which clearly displays the required materials and effects that can be added to items at a glance. With this system, anyone can become a beginner alchemist. The new linkage synthesis system features a fixed number of sales that players can unlock via strategic item placement, extending a variety of different results imbued into the final product depending on the way the sale branches. They have some tips for beginners and experts in this as well. Tons of really good images to go along with each one of these things. They've got the item rebuild system. Process allows for synthesized items to be used again during synthesis. So they're really fleshing out this system and introducing players to it before any of this goes out there. I've got a couple of videos, well, first for the item rebuild and for the linkage system, and I'll link those on the Facebook page as well for you guys to check out. That's going to do it for episode 71. I do appreciate you guys listening as always. Quick note that I said that we were going to do the Sunday special, and that's kind of just something I'm going to put off for a couple weeks. The little one starts school here in a few weeks, and so things have been a little hectic, and I'm thinking that once she's in school all day, I'll have much more time to record those and make them more of a regular thing. So give me about 2 or 3 weeks and we'll start that series back up. I do appreciate your initial interest in that, and hopefully we can get that going here real soon. But don't fret, we will always have your weekly JRPG report here each and every week. I try to get those out on Wednesdays. Sometimes, like today, it slips till Thursday, but that's the way life goes. Thank you so much for listening to this, and be sure and check out Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. Give us a review. I am accepting listener support via Anchor. If you guys would do that, that would be incredibly appreciated. But that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Until next time, get back out there and level up.